Hi, I'm Alan, and this is Prayers to the Dice Gods, and this is the Angels of Vengeance. The Angels of Vengeance. These guys look like they could be an interesting model, an interesting army. Let's see how it turns out. To get our lovely solid dark green base coat on, we've gone in with our model colour Vallejo US dark green, followed by the Army Painter Angel Green over the top. Comes out looking exactly the way I think a Dark Angel should. We're quickly moving on to our black base coating. This is in all of those little areas that we think should be black. So like the undersuit and the vents on the backpack. So we're getting the silver onto the weapon next. Primarily here for this model, it's going just onto the gun. So as always, we are getting out my favourite brown, the Rhinox hide, to put the base coats on all of those little pouches around the belt. Big shout out to the 90s bolters. We've got another red one here. We also have a red Aquila on the chest, and we're going to fill in the eyes while we're at it. What we're going to do here is get the Gracia out. We're going to do the insides of those shoulder pads as well as the front part of the helmet. And what this allows us to do is blank it out so that when we put on the off-white colour that we're aiming for, it's going to go on really nice, smooth, no trouble at all. As you can see here, as we go over the top of the Gracia with our Army Painter skeleton bone, it goes on really nice and smooth. We've got none of the green showing through, which is exactly what we're after. Now we're quickly picking out the gold detail on the side of the gun casing. Oh, we've only finished the base coats, and already I really like the way this model's shaping up. I think by the end, I'm really going to like this one. Decided to do this one a little bit different, and I'm going to use a Chthonian camo shade for the first time. We're going to go over all of the green bits on the model. Right, we've cracked out the Seraphim Sepia, which we're using to go over the gold detail on the gun, as well as just going around the edge of the shoulder pads, just to give it a little bit of shading around those edges. Next up, we've got the Norn oil out. We're going over all of those red and silver bits of the gun, the belt buckle, as well as the chest. So next up, we're cracking out the Warboss Green. We're going to start our first round of edge highlights, going around every edge on the model, putting in a nice fat green line. Our Moot Green comes out next. We're just doing the upward facing angles on all of those green panels. So our first round of highlights onto the pouches is our Mournfang Brown. We're going to go all the way around. We're going to put a few scratch lines onto some of the pouches just to make them look a little bit more worn. And as always, our XV88 comes out next to finish off those highlights on those pouches, and then we're going to put in the little lines just to give those worn bits a little bit more definition. Next we start with our Mephiston Red. We're just going to go over those flat panels again, just making sure that we don't go in and ruin the Nuln Oil in those recesses. So we're going around the gun with our Evil Suns, just going along the edges of each of those panels. We're also going to put the first lot of highlights onto the Aquila on the chest. Now Wild Rider Red we're going to use here just to highlight the top edges of the gun panels, and then we're going to go over just try and pick out some nice bits that will be catching the light on the chest piece. We're starting off our first lot of highlights on our cream colour with our mummy robes. So we're going back in just with some pure white just to make sure that those edges really pop, because an off-white is a difficult colour to highlight. Now our favourite silver workup, we're going over the top of the silver parts with Leadbelcher initially. Next up we're going to go over the top with our Runefang Steel just to make sure that those silver top bits look like they're catching plenty of light. Now because this is another model for the display cabinet, it is just getting a nice simple Abaddon black base. Next up we're putting a couple of pure white dots onto the eye lenses just to make it look like they're reflecting a little bit of light. Now there's something with the way the green works with the cream here, I really like it. I could easily see me having an entire army of these guys. They look absolutely amazing. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you get all of the notifications as and when the new videos are released. The dice gods favour the painted army.